Welcome to B2B Marketing and More with your host, Pam Didner. As a leading marketing and sales enablement strategist, keynote speaker, and author, Pam created this podcast to share her professional experience and insights and help you to be a great B2B marketer. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with your colleagues and leave a review on iTunes. Now let's get started.
Hello, welcome to another episode of B2B Marketing and More with Pam Didner. This is Pam. This is my podcast that I share my know-hows and the templates. I want to help you see B2B marketing from different lights and be a better B2B marketer. So I spent several episodes talking about messaging framework. I shared templates on episode 102, 103, and 104. I bet you guys are tired of it. For today, I want to share a personal story and talk about how to prioritize your workloads when you and your team are overworked and understaffed. So a friend called me up several days ago. That's called my friend Mary, and I haven't heard from her for over 2 years. I was so happy to hear her voice when I picked up the call. And I say, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that you called. How are you doing?" Before she could answer me, she started crying. I was like, did someone die or get hurt? Was she fired? What happened? At that moment, I had many questions, but I decided not to ask and just let her cry. After 3 to 5 minutes, she apologized that she hadn't called for a long time. And I told her, don't apologize. I have been a bad friend as well. I hadn't called either. This is literally what she said to me, okay? Pam, I see you creating content, speaking, taking on client projects, and promoting yourself. You are doing several persons' job. Are you exhausted or tired? I can barely manage my own job, and that was just one job. And then she told me that her company recently had a massive reorg. The manager she adored left the company. At the same time, she lost 2 people out of the 5-person team. The company had a massive product launch. There were many glitches prior to the launch. I get it. I work on multiple different product launches, and there's always tons of overtime prior to the product launches. And she was working 70 hours a week, and the workloads actually went up after the launch was over because the team or the management team wanted to continue to build momentum, and she just couldn't catch up. She finally hit a breaking point when she called me that day, and she was tired, exhausted, and she wanted to quit her job. First things first, I told her don't quit her job. Her company is a great company. And I told her that biweekly paycheck, trust me, biweekly paycheck is super nice. And I told her that she does not want to do what I do. All right. If she knows the number of hours that I actually work, it's ridiculous. And I also told her that I am tired and exhausted all the time. I mean, all the time. I just happen to hide it very well. If she gets the chance to see me at night, I look like a panda with black circles around my eyes. I look horrible. Well, it's really not about me. Okay, it's about Mary. I told her that she needs to address her workloads head on. And here are my suggestions proactively to address that. Number 1, I told her the first thing she needs to do is to have a conversation with her current manager. She needs to explain to her manager what she has accomplished so far, right? She needs to let her manager know that she has been working over 70 hours a week in the past several months to support a major product launch. And after the product launch, the hours didn't decrease. It started to affect, at this time, her productivity, creativity, and the work and life balance. She needs to have a conversation with her manager and work with her manager to prioritize her workloads, right? Of course, with his approval. Frankly, this type of conversation may or may not go well. And some managers, trust me, don't like to hear this type of issues. They just want that to go away. Give it a try, and it's very important to let the manager know, and having that conversation is a starting point. My second suggestion is, can we hire a contractor or an agency to help her out? I asked Mary if she has a marketing budget. If she does, can she farm out some of the work, not to take on that herself? Sometimes it's easier to spend money or allocate budget to get agencies or contractors to help you out. The downside of that is you need to ramp up the contractors or the agency, which sometimes may take more time. However, it's certainly an option worth exploring. The third suggestion is to talk to internal stakeholders. She has multiple major requests coming from internal stakeholders. I suggest that she talks to them and explain the situation to them. That she lost 2 people and she has been working over 70 hours and is really not sustainable at this point. She needs to prioritize her and her team's workloads, and some stuff won't get done or will be delayed, and that's the way it is. The fourth suggestion is to put things in perspective. I told her at the end of the day, marketing is not life and death. It's not like we are doctors, and if we don't meet the deadlines today or whatnot, someone will die. For digital, there are always some ways that you can go back and to amend, the blog post or change the videos or redo the content. Let's assume you have a massive PR nightmare. You can still find a way to fix it after the event, right? It can be horrible at that moment, but there's always a way to fix the situation. But with the life and death situation, it's much harder to amend. And whenever I am super stressed, and I always try to sit back and remind myself that everything I do is not life and death. If I don't get this done today, all right, my customers or my clients may be upset, but if I can explain to them calmly and logically, and hopefully they will understand. So changing my attitude when I'm stressed does help me to relax a little bit, right? Just put things in perspective. The last suggestion I share with Mary is to let it out. And I told Mary that I was so happy that she called. And I'm super flattered that she called me. And talking to someone when you are super stressed does alleviate stress. Talk it through, talk it out. Really, don't hold up. Here's a quick follow-up to the story. Mary did talk to a manager and internal stakeholders. Her manager was very understanding and allocated some budget to hire a contractor to help out the team. Her stakeholders, not so much. Were very annoyed and not too understanding about the whole situation, and they are incredibly demanding and results driven. And she had to get her manager to have a conversation with the senior managers of internal stakeholders. Things are slowly improving, but it is still stressful. And I guess sometimes that's the way it is, right? The point is that she is proactively managing her workloads and then making adjustments on a regular basis. So that's the way it should be. And so you go, girl. To be honest, I know how stressful it can be working in the corporate America. I was in the corporate America for over 20 years. I get it. I hope that if you are working in a big enterprise and you are stressful and you work in long hours, you are making effort to prioritize your workloads and take care of yourself. Again, it will be greatly appreciated that you can like or comment on the podcast. And I hope that you are working hard.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your colleagues and leave a review on iTunes.
In the meantime, have a great day.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your colleagues and leave a review on iTunes.